Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru.
I've got two questions, but they're kind of like not personal. We mentioned them in Sikh society before, and it's just nice to hear what your answer is. Like the first one is kind of to do with like Amrit. Like, why do we need to have Amrit? Like, why do we need it essentially?
We don't want it.
Don't want it.
Jinko lagi pyas, Amrit se hi khai.
Okay.
Amrit is, you want to be part of that army of Guru, then the doors open. Kar kare ho pahucha. Saturday nit pavan. Daily the call goes out. कि जिन्हें बनना है गुरु वाला आजो जिन्हें नहीं बनना Guru Sahib not here telling you bano bano bano. Maharaj tells his Sikhs on the Amrit way is changed now. If you're going to take Amrit, then it's now no longer Charan Pahal, it's Khande Bhatit Amrit. And he wants you to live this way of the saint soldier, but if you don't want it, please stay out of it. This is a path of choice. Sorry Baji, you came up because
so if you don't take Amrit, does that make you, are you still a Sikh, are you a bad Sikh? Like, what if you like, because sometimes what I find is that like, I do bath and only when I kind of, it sounds really bad, but it's only kind of when I feel like it.
Okay.
Because I found that there was one point where I was doing it really regularly, and like, at points it just felt like I was just doing just the road in. I never really felt anything, but when I do it, when I feel like it, it always feels really special.
Yeah, do you know what it's like?
Is that bad though?
No, it's what it is. It's like you know, in a relationship, yeah, right. So you have a commitment, and the commitment's quite good for relationships. Like although women understand this a lot better than men sometimes. Yeah? There needs to be a commitment for this relationship to work. Yeah. So marriage is a bit like that. So the commitment for a Sikh is to say, I will follow your way. Yeah, and Sikhi is about the walking the path. That's what's called a pant. Pant actually just means a path. Doesn't mean anything else. It means a way. Yeah. This pant is about walking the way. So what you're doing is you're kind of like walking and sitting down for a bit, having a break, and then walking again. Yeah. Right. But actually, Maharaj wants you to just walk it every day. That's why it's called Nityanem, daily routine. Nityanem literally just means daily routine. Yeah. So it's actually sometimes you have to make that commitment. So when you have kids and they wake up, you got to look after them. Yeah? You've got a commitment to that child. So even if you're feeling tired or whatever, you're not going to do it. Your soul is a bit like that child you're bringing up. Yeah? You're going to have to feed that soul every day. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm tired or whatever. Do it anyway. Yeah? And that's like your hukam. You're actually hukam manni hai. You're actually manning the hukam now. Yeah? But you're actually saying, my ego is not as important. What I'm feeling is not as important. What you said is important. So it actually lowers your hankar and you get on with it. But the question you asked is, am I a bad Sikh if I don't take Amrit? It's a hard one. The reason I say why it's hard is that Sikhi is a relationship with the Guru, like I just said, yeah? And it's actually, Amrit is a marriage ceremony. So you've got to have a wedding, you've got to have a long relationship afterwards, but the marriage is Amrit, right? So once you start flirting, and you start engaging with Guru, yeah? After you've got past the engagement, the marriage ceremony is Amrit. Yeah? So Sikhi is all about Tana Mana Tana Sab Saump Gur Ko Hukam Maniye Paiye. Anand Sahib. Maharaj says, Aisa Satguru Je Mile, Tisno Sir Saumpiye, Vicho Aap Jaye. If you meet such a Satguru, then give your head, and your ego will go, and you will get him. Right? So if you want that, that's the prize. This is the way that's set up. So people do go into Sikhi and they just kind of flirt with it, play with it as much as they want. They get bliss from it. But Amrit is that wedding ceremony, right? But also, some people do everything that Amritdharis do, and they got a lot of love for Sikhi, but they're not the ones that are going to pick up the sword and do anything. You understand? Yeah? But still they have the right. Yeah? So you need to do that anyway. And the call will come for you, you'll know, like, I'm going to be part of this pant or not. Yeah? But the pant is always a very active part, and the Khalsa especially was the kind of most active part of that pant. They were meant for Shahidi. Why I said they were meant for Shahidi is, you're giving your head. You're already dead. Yeah? So then after that you didn't care.
Going back to that idea of giving your head, I think people what I see at the moment is that people take it and then they go back, like
Yeah.
you said earlier, they revert back to their old ways.
Or they break
Should
their laws,
should Amrit be the first point of call or the last point of call on that journey through Sikh?
It's very hard just to classify
Because
because for me, it was the first part.
Hmm.
Like I literally took Amrit and I had to learn good morning afterwards. Like I couldn't sit through Japji Sahib at the beginning. I just never done it before. It's like having a real big meal, you know. If halfway through I fall asleep. This wasn't my thing. I had to really work at getting my Amrit and kind of do my part and litany. Yeah. The thing is, it's just one of those things where it comes to people at different times. There are people that took Amrit with me that have been practicing for a couple of years and keeping their parchar and all that kind of stuff, and they took it. Me, I needed to take it because I was one of those ideal people, you know, the stubborn guys. Unless I've taken something, I just wouldn't do it. I'd be lazy. So I think me giving my head and taking that ceremony, that was right for me at that time.
What happens when someone takes it and they look like a Sikh?
Yeah.
They look like a Khalsa,
Yeah.
they act like a Khalsa, but like you said, they're not. And you know, they are Amritdhari, but then they don't step up because they haven't attained that state and they've taken Amrit before. What happens? Because like
Well, you're stepping up in terms of doing stuff that the Khalsa is meant to do.
I mean, Khalsa, I've been told, or in one way
World
was
police.
world police.
Yeah.
So if someone goes to a Khalsa in a time of need,
They
they're
just
supposed to
can't
help.
do it.
But what if someone hasn't attained that state, but they've taken Amrit before and they look like a Khalsa, but they're not willing to help?
They
What
just
happens
lost
then?
out on the whole lot of kirpa. That's all it is. They just had a lot of.
Right.
Yeah, they just missed out. They just literally blew it. There was their chance to earn. What Sikhi, I think sometimes people confuse this, and I just want to repeat it to you guys. Sikhi is about good prasad. Ik onkar satnam karta purakh nirpo nirvair akal murat become akal Khalsa is akal. Is a murat of kakal. Ajuni sapam good prasad. Good prasad. It's all about good prasad. Ik onkar sat good prasad. So we're not trying to live long lives. We're not trying to live successful lives. We're trying to get good prasad. That's Sikhi for you in a nutshell. Good prasad. So just earn Guru's grace, and he takes 1 second to give you grace. Even less than that. Yeah? So you do what he says, he'll give you good prasad. That's what the Sikhs of old just surrendered to Guru. They didn't care if they had a long life, as long as they had a successful good prasad in there somewhere. Bas with Hiraya. Because this life is not the only life you got. Many more coming if you don't bother doing it. And a long, long one. Amritpuri. Have you heard of Amritpuri? That's where you're headed if you get good prasad. Yeah? It's the forever land. When the soul lives on, doesn't come back, lives on forever as a soul. Yeah? Amritpuri. You can come and go from this world, you can see your family, your forever soul, they're just living a human life out. Sometimes we just keep to think like merge with God, as if there's nothing, no afterlife. We believe in the soul living on forever. They're still around. Gurus are around, Bhana Singh Bhadra's around, Shah Sahib they're all around. Kidhar nahi gaye? So Sahih Singhs, they're all around. Janana Guru Prasad mil gaya, they're still around. Kabir Ji, the people have had darshan of them. They ain't gone nowhere. Maharaj is here. They're again. Kidhar nahi gaye?